She's mad. She goes into why she's upset. Then she starts kind of spiraling. She starts saying, I don't need him, talking about her husband. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I can leave him right now. I'm going to leave him, blah, blah, blah. All right. Each time that she had a break in that rant that she was going on, I tried to speak. She wouldn't allow me to speak. My friends already know. I'm the person, I don't like to therapize my friends unless I absolutely need to. But I am really big on helping people understand that sometimes when your emotions are so high, it clouds your judgment and you say very irrational things and you act irrational. Conversation with my homegirl a couple of weeks ago. She called me during lunch. Baby, let me tell y'all something. I am a foodie. I do not like answering the phone whenever I'm eating because I love for my food to be hot. But if I love you, I'll take the phone call. She's upset. She's screaming. She's crying. She's mad. She goes into why she's upset. Then she starts kind of spiraling. She starts saying, I don't need him, talking about her husband. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I can leave him right now. I'm going to leave him, blah, blah, blah. All right. Each time that she had a break in that rant that she was going on, I tried to speak. She wouldn't allow me to speak. My friends already know. I'm the person, I don't like to therapize my friends unless I absolutely need to. But I am really big on helping people understand that sometimes when your emotions are so high, it clouds your judgment and you say very irrational things and you act irrationally.
What she said here makes a lot of sense and it's actually accurate. A lot of people, when they got their emotions very high, they be saying things which they end up regretting later. Saying and doing things, especially those people that are like married and stuff like that, or in a relationship, they're gonna say something to their spouse or something like that, and later on they're gonna be eating back their words when they realize how much they effed up, right?
Now granted, as I'm listening, I realized that what he did, it didn't warrant this reaction. This is something else that's going on. She's going on a deep end, okay? And like I said, I like my food to be hot. So I'm eating, I'm listening, but I really don't like to be disturbed when I'm eating. So I'm like, all right, hold on, honey. You gonna let me speak? You gonna give me a little moment? I'll let you vent. Like at this point, this is over 30 minutes. I've let you vent. I've let you get it out. Do you want me to say anything? And she's like, no. She's like, I already know what you're gonna say. No, I don't want to hear that right now.
And now here's the problem. So you're eating, your friend is calling you and they're venting out to you and they don't want to hear your opinion. They don't want to hear what you have to say about their situation. So why are they calling you for it? If they don't want to hear you speak, they don't want to hear your 2 cents. They'd rather listen to themselves rambling on. Why are they calling you? They can do that on their own free time. I'll be like, okay, you know what? We're going to talk later. I'm enjoying my food right now. Since you don't want to hear me speak, beep, and I hang up the call, right? You don't have my opinion regarding your situation. You just want to hear yourself keep talking. And I'm trying to eat here. Matter of fact, I took a little window between all my bites. I took a little mini window here to try and give you my 2 cents, but you don't want to hear it, which is great. Better for me to continue on eating my hot ass food. We can talk later, or you can continue on talking to yourself.
Okay, that's fine. I've listened to this conversation. I've listened to you speak and run in circles, and not one time, because it seemed like every time you got quiet, you wanted me to interject. That's what it seemed like to me. But then when I did so, you'll start talking over me. So I told you, you know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. Whenever you're ready to have a conversation about this and actually work towards a solution, you can call me. But as of right now, I'm finna enjoy my food boundaries.
Boom, and that's what I just said. What a smart ass lady. She did exactly what I just said.
Now to get to the point, after a couple days passed by, once, she's kind of like resolved in her mind, her temper was better, she was able to actually process things, she calls me. Unfortunately, the damage was already done in her marriage. But she calls me and she says, I need your help. Okay, all right, now we're working with something. Now, let me make sure that I have the capacity to be able to help you. Luckily, that day I did. So she was like, in this situation, Kitty, what would you tell a couple? Okay. The main thing is that she kept on saying that she didn't need her husband. My first go-to is, did you tell him that? Did you tell this man that you didn't need him? She says yes. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. How did that go? What was his response? He blew up. Okay, well, if you don't need me, I don't need to be here. They ended up sleeping in separate beds that night, didn't talk to each other for a couple of days. So then I asked her, okay, do you feel like you don't need him? I don't need him. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So leave him. That's not the answer I wanted, Kitty. Well, stop saying that you don't need him. You married this man. This is your partner in life. Stop telling your spouse that you don't need him.
I like this lady already. She's hella smart. You see, nowadays, especially women, they're gonna side with each other no matter what, right? They like to give you their perspective of whatever they're complaining about, and they want you to agree with them, right? They don't want you to interject. They don't want you to give them a different perspective that is of the complete opposite of what they're telling you, or they don't want to hear that they're on the wrong. They want you to side with them no matter how bad they effed up or screwed up. They want you to still be on their side. So I like the fact here how she lays it out ice cold, tells her how it is, tells her girlfriend how it is. Well, if you feel like you don't need your man, then boom, end it. Tell him that, boom, right? But then her friend gets mad at her for giving her that advice. But then she tells her friend, man, quit saying what you're saying,
This is your husband. So if you don't know, I'm all about perspectives. So let's look at different perspectives. All right. You say you don't need your husband. All right. You got friends? Yeah. You need your friends? Absolutely. I need my friends. Okay. Why do you need your friends? We go down a list. They're my support. Whenever I'm going through things, I can talk to them. We share memories. We laugh together. We go through life together. All of that. You need your friends. Do you have those same moments with your husband? I hear her smack her lips. No, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Do you not share laughter with your husband? Do you not get through life with your husband? Do you not get different perspectives and advice and support and encouragement and things like that from your husband? Yeah. In that moment, you didn't. Or am I mistaken? She goes, in that moment, I didn't. I felt like I wasn't getting the right amount of support. So you just completely cut off your husband and say you done with him. You don't need him because in a moment he had something that pushed against, or maybe in a moment he had a just human fault, because we're human. He had a moment where he couldn't be the support that you needed. But whenever your friends can't be supportive or they're going through their own things, you don't say that you're going to cut your friends off. I hear her choke up. All right. So I'm like, all right, let me lighten up, because I hear she's crying and stuff now. She's trying to hide the fact she's crying, but you can hear about her nose sniffs and all that stuff.
And that's how it be, guys. All it takes is that one moment for women to ruin the relationship. In that 1 second, it could be something as long as like a 10-year marriage or relationship or whatever you want to call it, situationship. All it takes is that one little moment for them to fumble it and ruin it, and it's always due to their actions or what comes out of their mouth.
Right. And so I'm like, all right, let me slow down with you real quick. Exactly what do you need from me right now? And she was like, tell me exactly what you would tell your couples. So I tell her, baby, men need to be needed. That's where their sense of purpose comes from. That's where a lot of their fulfillment comes from. To be protectors, providers, problem solvers, and they want to feel valuable. And so they really need those meaningful connections. That's how they express their love and care. Now, even with these roles, it doesn't mean that they will not drop the ball. They're humans. When we speak of human element, people go through things. People have life experiences, situations that sometimes alter the way they see things. It alters their empathetic responses, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just means that in that moment, they probably can't give you the response that you actually need. So then she goes, well, why did he draw back? Why did he just walk out? Why did he just stop talking to me? You don't need him. Doesn't feel valued. You simply don't need him. You just hit his confidence, right? You just really took a jab at his esteem. Why is he going to be motivated to do more when you just specifically told this man, in other words, he's not valuable to you? I pull back then and I say, okay, let me not come from a psychological standpoint. Let me talk to you as your sister in Christ.
And one thing I like to pinpoint, guys, social media, and as well as like things like songs. You see these songs, these female rappers, Cardi B, what's the other one, Glorilla, all these artists, these female artists, bro, that are on like, I don't need no man, blah, 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 I'm an independent ass. Bro, these women are what's also polluting these other women. You see what I'm saying? The way they're spreading their messages. All these listeners, all their fans are soaking it up like a wet sponge, right? They're soaking up this advice, and that's what's also destroying relationships. So it's also everything you absorb in your life. This woman gotta realize. But I'm talking about like those, social media. You got like them dramatic friends, them toxic ass friends as well. You got the music industry. You know what I mean? It's everything all around them is what's ruining them and their relationships, their way of thinking. Their own perspective. It's exactly that, but they don't see it.
You are a believer of God. When you married your husband, you came together under God, and God granted you that union. So now we need to make sure that we keep this union together, tight knit, even in these hard moments. We do so. That's your partner through life, through the good and the bad. Your husband is your sounding board during difficult times, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own difficult times. And in their nature, of being strong because that's the expectation and that's the way they've been conditioned. Men don't always show that. They don't always show those moments of weakness. So from a more biblical standpoint, I said, you need your husband. Let's get into the word. I said, the word says that your husband is supposed to support and guide you and your family to faith. That is in the book of Ephesians, honey. Adam needed a companion. But even when he gave Eve to Adam, they both became partners in life. They were one another's support. They loved one another. They processed and went through life with one another, regardless of what happened. You need your husband. That is your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual safeguard. He is the provider and the protector of you, your marriage, your home, baby. Ephesians 5:25 talks about your husband loving you as Christ loved the church. That's sacrificial love. What better love than sacrificial love to understand selflessness and commitment? We need that as wives. We need to experience that. We need our children to see that. Not only is he your husband, he's your children's father. He plays a significant role in the household. Right. A father's active role in a household is important.
I just want to know what's so funny about this too is like the fact that if she doesn't need her husband, why is she married to him? That's the number one question. Why is she still in that house living with him with a ring around her finger? What is she doing? The moment you realize you don't need him, what's the point? Because I think in a relationship, it's supposed to be vice versa. Both of you are supposed to need each other, right? Because there are some certain things your husband is better at that you're not, and vice versa. And also to create a family, I mean, you're going to need your husband for that. To have them children, you're going to need your husband for that. Unless you want to be out there on them streets, right? So, I mean, you need your husband for a lot of things. That's what you fail to realize. But I get it. Emotions were high. She was triggered for whatever it was. But it's crazy to say you don't need him. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with a big ass wedding ring, and meanwhile you still carrying his last name. And meanwhile, I guarantee you the house is probably under his name. Could be both of you, but probably under his name. You know, he's probably paying a lot of the bills. He's probably doing a lot of shit around their house. When you get a flat ass tire, the first person you call is probably him. Any other thing that happens to you, let's say maybe you get like an intruder in the house, who you gonna scream at? You gonna scream for your husband, right? Like, I mean, that's a thing. Huge disrespect towards your husband. And now especially like if he's been doing his part. Now if he's been a deadbeat and he hasn't been contributing and you tell him you don't need him, then maybe you're carrying the weight for the both of you. That would make sense. Like if you're working, you're making more than him, you're paying all them bills, you're cleaning the house, you're doing all of that, and then yeah, 100% I would agree with you. I say you don't need him. But if he's also contributing and maybe he's making more than you, or he's putting more effort than you, and taking them kids to them soccer games or softball, whatever practices and all this and that, and getting that car, the oil change and all that, and changing the tires, doing anything like yard work, all that, like at the end of the day you need him. It's just emotions were high. That's what it is.
In our household, we need support, we need guidance, we need direction that sometimes we as wives and mothers simply cannot give. And the children's father, your husband, is there for moral development. He is absolutely necessary. The word speaks on the importance of a husband and a wife's union. We need that. So she listens and she actually takes it all in, and she's like, you know what, Kate, this is why I love you. I can't stand you because you get me together, but I love you. And I say all things with love. My circle, they already know what it is. But let me tell you something, as I would tell any of my clients, when your emotions are high, your judgment is clouded. A lot of times when we're operating from such intense emotions, we say very hurtful things that are consequential that we cannot take back. You can't take those things back. Be mindful of what you say when you are angry.
100%, guys. What she's telling you here is 100% pure facts. Definitely. When the emotions are high, you say outrageous things. But another thing to realize too is that not only do you say, but you also do irrational things. You gotta realize that too, right? You got women's out here, first thing they find out that their husband's been unfaithful. You know what they do? They do the most crazy shit. They set the house on fire. They go and they start rushing up to him, and they wanna like end his life. They get crazy without even thinking. It's like do first, think later. But they don't realize that with every action, there's consequences. Right, you got some people right now who are behind bars just because they got triggered of what they found out. Maybe their wife was cheating, or whatever, or vice versa, and then they decided to go and unalive them, right? So there's always consequences to any sort of action, and not only actions, it's also things that you say, right? You could say shit, yeah, you will regret later, but sometimes it also works in a positive way, because man, oh man, you're gonna get the truth when somebody's mad, right? If you want to get out the truth out of your partner, the best time to do it is when they're pissed off at you, because they're gonna lay it out. They ain't even gonna hide nothing. If she slept with your best friend the day, you know, you were sick, you were at the hospital, bro, she gonna tell you at that moment. Why? Because she's so pissed, she's holding nothing back. That's the perfect time for you to figure out what kind of person you're dealing with, because the true colors are all gonna show themselves there. Now the problem is people are too comfortable in their relationship, right? So it's like one person says the most disrespectful things like this, and then the moment when they cool down, they come, they apologize. But you would think like it's a one-time thing. No, it's a continuous cycle. They say these things, I don't need you, that you're a loser, you're this, you're that, you're that. Then, you know, once they calm down, they come, they apologize. If you're lucky, sometimes they don't even apologize, but they will apologize, whatever. And then next time they're mad, it repeats. For the sake of being too comfortable, they tolerate it. You know, which is also bad on their part, because they're enabling this type of behavior, right? So overall, this woman here, she's speaking facts. I like how she is holding her friends accountable. A lot of women out there will agree with their friends and will join their friend's side and start bashing the dude. Tell their friends what they want to hear and make them feel better without addressing the big elephant in the room, right? If your friend is wrong, lay it out there, because that's how you help them see things, and that's how you're gonna help them grow, right? Yeah. But anyways, that's the video, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you all thought about this. What do you think about this woman, bro? I think I like her brain. I like the way she thinks, and I like how she laid it out over here. But let me know what you guys thought, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. All right, peace.